Hi girls. So you should have learnt a lot about tropical storms, about their formation and their distribution, and you should have been researching Typhoon Haiyan, which happened in the Philippines. So we're now going to think about measuring the different effects of tropical storms. So we're going to understand the significance of the different primary and secondary effects. So there'll be a few reminders in here, and because we're doing significance, you have to think about how important each one is. So, just a quick reminder about what primary and secondary effects are. Primary effects are the immediate effects caused directly by the tropical storm. Secondary effects are those indirect effects and problems faced after the tropical storm. So having to think carefully about that, you can see some pictures here. Got some flooding on the left. We've got a woman with a destroyed house and a man with a destroyed boat next to him. So different kinds of effects, and you need to be thinking about, are these primary or are they secondary? So there are four main effects of tropical storms. We've got heavy rainfall, so the fact that it's raining constantly and very, very heavily. We've got storm surges, which I'll show you in a little bit, but floods the land. We've got strong winds, so the actual winds of the hurricane or tropical storm themselves can actually break things and blow things around. And we've got landslides, so the effects of the wind and the rain can make mud and rock fall from a hillside and even houses. Our main primary effects are the fact that houses have been demolished, the infrastructure, such as electricity lines, roads, have all been broken. Crops have been destroyed, so as farmland's damaged, there's less food. Storm surges, which I mentioned before, the big wave pushing water onto the land, like you can see in this picture, can cause a lot of flooding, and there's death due to the flooding. The secondary effects can be linked to these. So the fact that there was a lot of rain and there was a lot of flooding, this can actually cause the landslides. So the landslides happen because of something else. The water supplies get contaminated with seawater because pipes were broken. There's sewage, industrial waste, and it can increase the risk of disease. And a disease we often talk about when there's water involved is cholera. It's a good one to remember. And another secondary effect is even the fact that aid, the help that comes in afterwards, is hampered, is made more difficult as the roads become flooded. So another thing you need to know about is how do we measure the speed and the intensity of hurricanes. So this image on the screen you might recognize something being called a Category 5 storm. That's the strongest you can get. But what do those categories actually mean? Well, those categories refer to a scale known as the Saffir Simpson scale. That's an important one to remember. The higher the category of the storm, the more intense, the stronger the tropical storm is. So, for example, you can see on the left, a Category 1 storm would have wind speeds of 74 to 95 miles per hour and cause less damage than other storms. You can have a look for yourself later. Category 2 can go up to 110 miles per hour, Category 3 up to 130 miles per hour, Category 4 up to 155 miles per hour, and anything above that is called a Category 5. Those are our most destructive tropical storms. Those are the ones where you get a lot of damage, a lot of flooding, a lot of death, and a lot of other problems leading up afterwards. So there's a few tasks for you to do to think about the different primary and secondary effects, about how important they are, and the categories that we use for them. Have the go as best as you can. Good luck.